What is going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream here on Circle Triangle Square. Hey, this is a different type of live stream. I'm here in my game room, but first, I want to tell you guys, definitely go follow me on Twitch. Live streams on Twitch 4 to 5 times a week. Now, you guys will see that I will be on Twitch tonight. I do stream live games on YouTube. I do, but it's only like once, maybe twice a week tops. To be honest, it's probably going to be less than that, maybe once a week. So definitely follow me on Twitch. Going to be having a lot of good stuff going on over there in the coming days. In fact, tonight I will be on Twitch in about 30 minutes. So if you guys want to see some live game streams, definitely head over, check me out over on Twitch, follow me just like that. And then when you're done, you also have the option to subscribe. Tap the bell right here so you guys will get notifications. See, I said I've turned them off. And then right here, I'll go ahead and turn them back on. Oh, wait. Won't let me. Never mind. Anyway, I am definitely going to turn the bell back on, but it's kind of wigging out here. So in any case, definitely follow, tap the bell on Twitch. In any case, guys, today I want to talk about my game collection. I want to show you guys a little bit of the inside stuff that I got going on here. And I know I play PS4 and Call of Duty, and I've been talking a lot about PS5 and the next gen consoles, which are fabulous, but I want to show you guys how long I've really been doing this and how much stuff I have. So when I say that digital is not really the way to go, especially if it's digital only, digital's fine as long as it's not the only option. I'll show you guys why that is. This is just part of the reason. American job loss and all kinds of stuff in that video. Go check it out. But there's a lot of bad things, and this is one of them. Being able to physically play these games and appreciate everything that we have here for history related to games. So let me show you guys what I've got. I pretty much have every system that you can think of. The only systems that I have that do not work or I don't have is Saturn, which doesn't work. I have to fix some stuff on my Saturn and get another one. Number two, I have an Intellivision that's broken and I have to get that fixed. That is it. Everything else I have, and probably at least 2, 3 or more of each. So let's run through my game collection. We're going to start off with Nintendo. Okay, so I have 2 NESs here, one here, all new parts in this one. I took parts from 5 or 6 different NESs and rebuilt this one to pretty much brand new spec. Got my Super Famicom Super Nintendo here, which is pretty much the Japanese version. It is, and it only plays Japanese games, or so most people think. Believe it or not, you can actually take the cartridge out of a Super Nintendo game and stick it in here. You just basically take the cartridge or the chip out of the cartridge. It'll play any American game. The only real difference between Super Famicom and Super Nintendo is the design and shape of the cartridge. The chip inside will play on both systems. They're not regionally locked, which is really crazy if you ask me, but they're not. Also, Nintendo 64s, I've got one here with the standard pack, one here with an expansion, another standard, and another expansion pack, and this is the purple one. I forget the name of the color, but the purple one was one of the hardest ones to get. I still got to get the red, the green, and the kind of like strawberry watermelon colored one. There's like 4 different colors, I believe. I only have one. Got to collect those. I got a couple of Game Boys that I've rebuilt. Got to get a new screen for this one. 3DS XL right there. Another DS right there, and a couple of Game Boy Advances. This is not the newer gen with the better screen. I got to get one of those as well. You guys could see I've got so many different Wiis, 6 of them. I've got the 2 black, 3 white, and of course the limited edition Mario Red right here, the 25th anniversary, which I do have the box for. I have 3 original Xboxes that are rebuilt on the bottom shelf. I have 9 GameCubes, although I wish I had another purple. I do not. I looked really hard, could only find one over the years. I'm still looking. I have 7 PS1s, all different generations, or like not generations, but like different models. So you could see that this would be one of the newer ones. This is the 7501. This is probably one of the later models around 1999 or 2000, like right before PS2 came out. This one here is 7001, which is right before it. There is an older one right here, I believe. No, that's not it. Let me see. It's actually over here. This is the oldest one right here. You guys can see the audio, video out, and the parallel I/O. And, of course, the serial, which is very important for many reasons I'll get into later, but they discontinued that. This is the original SCPH 1001. This was a launch system. I do have another PS1 that's modded. You will notice, though, the laser position is moved. Now, if you've ever played PlayStation 1 and you've had disc problems, you know that if you turned it upside down, it would most likely play. Well, the reason for this is because the power supply is right here. So it's built in right here, okay? And it has all the circuitry. So the laser sat right above it. So over time, the laser got warped. So you had to hold it upside down somehow in order for it to play, or on its side to move the laser around because it just was warped. It didn't work. So that was because they had the laser. You see the power port right here. And you can see on the new models, it's in the same spots. And if you look at them both, you'll see that they moved the laser from over the power supply to the other side. That's why the newer models did not have laser issues. Only the Generation 1 did. Now, there is the newest one in here, which is this one here, SCPH 9001. I think this system, this model, was actually released in 2001 or 2000. This was the last PlayStation model before the mini PS1 that came out. This was the last model, and you can tell by how clean it is and the difference in the laser and the plastic material. You know, the laser's still over here. You can tell that this was just overall newer. This was the newest one. There's no serial ports in the back. They've done away with everything except the multi-out and the serial out. You'll notice on the 7501 that they still had a parallel I/O. So they removed that in 98 or 99, like a little bit over halfway through the generation's life, that got removed. The most reliable PlayStation in this generation was definitely the 9000 series, which was the last one. It was by far the most reliable. Now, considering how slow this system is by today's standards, it's a pretty massive system. With today's technology, we probably could get the same speed and graphics out of this system, and it would be no bigger than this, probably less. This was just insane size for, you know, what you're actually getting, but that's what comes with the times. In any case, here's my PS2s, and quite frankly, I consider this to be pretty much the greatest console ever released. I feel like it was much better than PS3. The game library was better. The graphics were a big jump, and I mean a really big jump up from the PS1. In fact, even though the tech that's inside of the PS2 wasn't exactly better than Xbox, the original Xbox, it had much better game library and was much easier to program for. Same thing, they had different versions and different serial numbers, and this one right here is the 39001, which was probably the second or third year. I think it was the third year. So this is like a 2003 system, much better than the original launch. Again, these had disc issues as well. I have rebuilt all of these. I had 12 at one point and took all the good parts and welded and rebuilt a couple of them. So these all work pretty much flawlessly. I even got cases from systems that didn't work, but the cases were mint, and put the internals in there. I made sure the serial numbers were in the same year on a couple of those. But all those PS2s work, like I said, flawlessly. I've tested them all. Up here, I have the different PS2 Slims. So I've got 6 PS2 Slims right here. Another PS1, I don't know why it's on this shelf. I just didn't have room for it, I guess. But you'll see that these all have the serial numbers the same way. This is a 75,001 or 7501. This one here is probably, as we make our way through, it's a little bit halfway through the Slim. So it's maybe like a 2003, halfway through its lifespan. The silvers are the last of the generation. Both these silver ones are the last model numbers and serial numbers, so they were most likely 2004, 2005. They were at the end of the lifespan of the PS2. We move over here. I've got all the original Sega Genesis. I even have the ones with the better audio. The bigger, older Genesis was the better one. These ones here had really bad audio. Well, not really bad, but they just weren't as good. This was the better system. They kind of tried to ditch the size to save money, cut costs, blah, blah, blah. There is my Sega Saturn right here. There's nothing wrong with the case. There's no damage. Everything inside works except the disk drive. I have to fix that and get a new set of controllers for that. It really bothers me that I don't have controllers for this system. The only one I had was broken. Everything works flawlessly. I just have to get a new CD unit for it on the inside or buy a new one and just save time. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. 4 Dreamcast systems. These were very powerful. Going to do a video on these. What I love the most about the Dreamcast is the fact that it ran on Windows CE. If you guys don't know, the Microsoft Xbox was basically the Dreamcast 2. Sega was in bed with Microsoft. Long story, but if they went bankrupt, Microsoft got the rights to all the internal stuff, which they did. So Xbox had based their original system off the internals of the Dreamcast. In any case, this was basically a computer far more advanced than the PS2, light years beyond PS2. In fact, this was a better system than PS1 or PS2, although it didn't have the game library, and Sega made the same mistake they made with every other system and turned every single game into an arcade game, or every release and every available game was an arcade game. That's the proper way to say it. And people got tired of playing arcade games on a console. They just weren't popular, which is why today we have very little arcade games. People were evolving in 2000 and wanted RPG and action games, simulating games. They did not want to play arcade games. Arcade games pretty much died in 2000 or were on their way out. Anybody who knows anything about gaming knows that arcade games just don't last. They are pretty much dead now. And I would say they've been dead for about 10 to 12 years. And from the, I would say 1997, 98, when PS1 and PS2 were coming out, between that length of time, arcade games were starting to spiral downhill. Nobody wanted to play them. But for some reason, Sega got locked into an arcade-only type system, which screwed them. Not only that, they were very hard to produce games for. Dead or Alive looked flawless. If you compare Dead or Alive 2 on Dreamcast to anything on PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 or GameCube, it destroyed them. It was 60 frames a second. I played a game called Conduit. It was 60 frames a second, and it was just unbelievable. The system was fantastic. They even had Evil Dead, which was 60 frames a second. It was, like I said, basically a PC. You could even emulate games. I have emulators right now on disc where I can emulate every Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo or Genesis game on a disc on the Dreamcast. You could also burn games onto a CD, which is a 90s term, which means to write a CD with a bootleg copy, meaning that the security on the Dreamcast was basically a 4-second audio file with, I believe it was a 50 megabyte worth of blank space. Then you would save the data, and then you would write out an extra patch of data. Long story short, people figured that out, including myself. I have like 100 games for Dreamcast. I have almost all of them that are, burnt onto disc. That's part of the reason why they were pretty much doomed. One of the big things about the Dreamcast is if you look right here, it has an Ethernet cable and dial-up cable, and you could go online and play games online. They were the ones that really, truly tried to make online gaming. It flopped. No one was ready for it. This system came out about 2 to 3 years too soon. If the Dreamcast had come out in 2005 as a competitor for the PS3, it would have succeeded, or right before PS3, and if they had more simulation games, which they would have had they waited 3 more years. Sega launched this system about 3 to 4 years too soon, which is the big reason that they kind of went defunct and went downhill. In any case, we come down here. You guys can see my Atari 5200. I have a couple of Intellivisions from the 70s, which, long story short, Mattel owned Intellivision and Nintendo bought them out. Intellivision essentially is the predecessor to NES. You guys can see here, there's my 7800 Atari. I've got a couple of reboots from the 90s, the 2600 Ataris. I got a couple of those as well. Now, I do have other systems that are not here, like the PS3 over here. I do have a PS3 and my game TV right here, but I also have the original Famicom. from Japan. This one came in a couple of years ago and had to clean it out, fix a few things on it to get it to work. But Famicom just stands for Family Computer. Now, with all these systems, you might ask, well, what games do you play? Well, I got a lot of games. This is just some of them. I have some still in boxes that I haven't cleaned or tested. One of my favorites is RoboCop versus the Terminator. I love the case, really hard to find. I have the Super Scope for Super Nintendo. That's a very rare find, especially considering it's mint. Not only that, I also have a lot of these sports Genesis games that I've actually went through and tested. I have a lot more that are not tested or clean yet. I've got to get time to finish adding to the collection, but I've got boxes that I haven't tested or cleaned yet, and I got to get to those. But I've got the Mortal Kombats. Now, I don't want to sidetrack too far on this. But speaking of, I've got the original 2 Mortal Kombats. Both of them have the cartridge and everything. All original, flawless condition, and they both work. I think Mortal Kombat 2 is far superior to Mortal Kombat 1, although I like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was probably my favorite. Now, before I go on any further in some of the games that I have, I want to show you something special about Mortal Kombat. If you guys ever played Mortal Kombat, which I'm sure you have, you must know who Kano is, and in Mortal Kombat 2, you must know who Baraka is. He is the guy with the crazy face down there, right over to the left, bottom left corner. You can see Baraka's got that little green thing on the side of his head. If you've ever played Mortal Kombat, you know Kano and Baraka, Quan Chi, stuff like that. Well, I actually know Rich DeVizio, and this is really cool because Richard DeVizio, oh man, I'm dropping stuff, is the guy who played Kano and Baraka, and he sent me some autographed pictures. So he played Kano. This is one of the pictures. You guys look up Richard DeVizio if you don't know. He's the guy who played all the original Mortal Kombat characters. Well, he autographed some stuff for me and sent it. Here's another picture of Richard DeVizio with his Baraka outfit. He sent it to my Driveway Demons channel a few years ago. And I really appreciated, Mortal Kombat. And now I appreciate even more. The guy is definitely down to earth and really cool to talk to. I've spent some time hanging out with him on the phone and talking to him, and he's a really cool dude. Really cool that he sent this stuff to me, had time to send me autographed original posters from Mortal Kombat. These are the original posters from Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. So, and of course the Quan Chi was later on. This was like 99 or like 98, something like that. But in any case, really cool dude, and I just can't say enough good things about the guy. He actually had the time to call me and hang out with me on the phone, and we chatted through text, and he spent time signing this and sending it to me. So I'm eternally grateful for this because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and Baraka was my favorite character, and I loved Quan Chi. So this was really pretty badass, if you ask me. Then moving back along over here to Genesis, I'll show you. I've even got the original Terminator 2 right here. And then somewhere, I just got to figure it right here. There it is. Terminator 2 Arcade right there. A lot of different stuff here. I've actually got Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in a box over there that I haven't undone yet. Got a lot of Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 games up here. Like, even have this one, which is pretty much brand new. The person who originally bought this played it once, and it's never seen air or oxygen at all. It's still packaged up all these years later. I have all the Super Marios. I have the Punch-Out, the original one with Mike Tyson before they removed him. That's something you guys should Google. Mike Tyson got removed from the game. Long story. Even rare things like Last Action Hero, Super Double Dragon, which is hard to find, Turtles 4, which is one of the hardest, most expensive games to get. All the Donkey Kong countries. A lot of different stuff here. Then there's the one game for Nintendo 64 that is rare called Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I have that as well. I don't know where I put it. Zelda, one of the best RPG games of all time. Ocarina of Time was my favorite. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find Mario 64. That was legendary when it came out. It must be up there somewhere. I don't want to dig through everything, but Conker's Bad Fur Day was probably one of the hardest games to find. I got lucky. Rare titles like this. This is where King's Field is where Dark Souls started. Got the original Twisted Metal back there in the big jewel case. King's Field 2. The original Kingsfield redone in the jewel case. Some really rare things. Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII. Got the old Destruction Derbies. Grand Theft Auto. I have Final Fantasy Tactics, the original Tomb Raiders right here. Have Die Hard Trilogy. I have Die Hard Trilogy 2. I just don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. I just gotta have to dig through my game collection and find it. Knockout Kings. There it is. Die Hard. Oh, wait, that's the original. This is the second one. Yeah, I had it backwards. Yeah. This is Die Hard Trilogy 2 and Die Hard Trilogy. I got both those, which are a little bit harder to find. Silent Hill, which was phenomenal. It was a really good game. I think that was probably one of the best survival horror games ever made. This is a launch title right here. Descent and Descent Maximum. Those are really, really cool games when they came out. Now they're like crummy, to say the least, and there ain't no way anybody would play those games anymore. But also, just want to give a shout out. If you guys didn't catch me at the beginning of the stream, definitely check me out over on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch for the live streams that we're going to be having this week and next week. I'm going to be also on Twitch right after this video. Now, here's some Wii games, some crummy ones, but what stands out is the Mario Wii, and I got the Mario U for the Wii U. Mario Parties. Sim games are okay. Luigi's Mansion is one of the harder, rarer ones to find. Smash Brothers Melee, Smash Brothers Brawl. I have all the Smash Brothers, by the way, all of them. Where is my Wii U Smash Brothers? I think it's in the other room. Yeah, I have the Wii U Smash Brothers. It's a really good game. This is another fantastic game, Xenoblade Chronicles. I have 2 of those. I don't know how I ended up with 2, but I did. Down here is my PS3 games, Dark Souls and Demon Souls, which is being remade for the PS5. Infamous, Twisted Metal, Armored Core, Code Veronica for PS2. Really good games. If you guys have never played Red Faction 2 and the original Red Faction, those are some pretty good first-person shooters. And when I first played those games, they blew me away. And if you guys want to know what game really, truly showed me the capabilities of PS2 and how much better it was than PS1, this was it. Silent Hill 2 was phenomenal. On launch date, I picked this game up. It blew me away. Like, the graphics were so much better than PS1. I was just, like I said, blown away. I could not believe what I was seeing. That was truly a time when gaming was great, when I was pretty much a kid at the time. It really got great at that point. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. These are some Xbox 360s and original Xbox 360 games. If you guys haven't played the Godfather games, Godfather 1 and 2, they are really good. I got the original Black Ops and Black Ops 2 for 360. Even all the original Modern Warfares. There's Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare right there, Call of Duty 4, and then Modern Warfare 2 is right here. So I have all the Call of Duties. I've played them all. Where is my other one? Here, I was looking for something. This was a good launch title for Xbox. Bloodwake was like, I guess you could say Twisted Metal, but a lot of boats. Fighting off on the boats was good. Obi-Wan was another launch title. It was a day one for Xbox. I've had that game for 20 years, just about. Blood Omen 2. If you guys haven't played the original, that was good. So was the second one. Was never a fan of the other ones that came out. I liked Blood Omens better. The Kane games, like Legacy of Kane, the original, was the best. Fable, another really good game. If you haven't played the Fables, you are missing out. Got some Xbox One games right here. I love Watch Dogs, Grand Theft Auto, Halo. I don't stream any of those at this point, but I just might. Even older PC games that I never opened that I collected, like Conflict, Denied Ops, Stranglehold, Medal of Honor, Airborne. Fear was legendary. If you like first-person games, then Fear was a game changer. It literally was. Fear was one of the absolute best first-person shooters ever made. Graphics were insane. Like, when this game came out, it was destroying everything graphically. Like, I would say this had graphics of like PS3, maybe PS4, and this game came out like 15 years ago. That was basically, I would say, 10 years ahead of its time. Fear was phenomenal. If you guys have played Fear, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then there was another game. I can't remember what it was called when it came out, but it was really awesome. I don't want to make this video too long, but we could sit here and go through my games. I would need like 2 more hours to go through and show you everything I have because I've only touched the surface on the games. I've got 2 more bins full that I haven't cleaned up or tested. And I only went through some of the important games. So we're going to have to make another series of this and spend a few different videos going through all the games that I have. And I intentionally have organized everything here to a degree that once I'm done, we're going to start streaming classic games. We're going to have a classic stream night every week for like 2 to 3 hours. We're going to play a classic game. You guys are going to vote on them, and we're going to play some classics on Twitch. I have all the stuff I need to stream the old classic hardwares, all the converters, everything. I've already been done that. If you look at my YouTube channel here, go all the way back, you'll see that I streamed Super Double Dragon. Go back in my earlier videos to about 7, 8 months ago. You'll see that I streamed Super Nintendo Super Double Dragon on this channel, and it was a lot of fun. It was just a great game. That's one of the best Super Nintendo games made, if you ask me. A lot of fun. If you've never played Super Double Dragon, you're missing out. It was really good. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's live stream in this room. I just wanted to give you guys, a sneak peek of what's going on in the game room and a lot of the collection that I'm working on. It's growing all the time. So I'm not just some guy who just is talking about PS5 and streaming Call of Duty. I've legit been playing games for the better part of 30 years, 32 years. And that's what I thoroughly enjoy. Cars and games are life to me. I love it. And you guys wouldn't be here if games weren't your life or your big hobby too. So we all enjoy the same thing. And I pretty much love every system. I think every system in this room, I'm sure we could agree, has a selling point or has a strength, which makes it unique from everything else. So even though, like, for example, Dreamcast was far more advanced than PlayStation 2, PlayStation 2 had a lot of things that were better than Dreamcast, and Nintendo 64 had things that the other 2 systems didn't have. Everything in here had something of value that, as a gamer, you don't want to miss. They all had unique titles, unique controllers, unique feelings. When you play the games, that like feels like they all felt their own way. It was just really a good time to be a gamer. From 1993 until about 2002 was really like the ideal time to be a gamer. We had Sega CD, we had Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast. There was 32X from Sega. There was a lot of stuff, like just a lot. We had the Sega Game Gear, we had the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance came out shortly after. So we had so many consoles and generations over that 8 years. It was probably going 3 times faster than things go today as far as evolution. And it was a great time. I think the greatest point for gamers, for anybody who's got any nostalgic feelings at all, or even just going off of facts, we had the most evolution and the most gaming progress between 1990-91 until about 2001. That decade in the 90s, games evolved very quickly. And like I said, we had 2 to 3 generations in a 12-year period. It was just marvelous. It really was. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. As you can tell, I'm an avid gaming enthusiast, and I'm just a diehard gamer, and I love all this stuff. I could sit here and talk forever on games and all the stuff that I've got. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check me out over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Circle Triangle Squared. I'm going live over there like literally in 10 or 15 minutes. Let's get over there and start the Call of Duty streams tonight. We're going to have a 4-day weekend here to stream. Lots of good stuff. I got more content, more videos and uploads coming at you guys on this channel on Xbox Series X and PS5 coming this weekend. So stay tuned for that. But until the next video, guys, thanks for stopping in. Be safe. Share the video. And comment below, what do you guys think of the collection? And until I see you in a couple minutes on the live stream, be safe, have fun, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.